Now that Diary of a Wimpy Alien is a series, we kind of have a set way of doing the main episodes.
I feel like now, after nearly 2 years of working on the series, everybody knows these characters really well, and there's definitely a formula and a structure to the adventures of Greg and his family.
Each one of the 6 main episodes is based on a Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, the plot in the book.
And every now and then, they'll do an episode that's just completely out of left field.
In the playlist, there's actually 2 episodes now that are 0.5. There's Manny's Day Out, 4.5, and then of course Into the Predatorverse, which is 6.5. And the reason why they're labeled as 0.5 is that we kind of see these as a side adventure. These definitely deviate from the formula we've been using for Diary of a Wimpy Alien. They're not based specifically on a plot line from the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book series. So these 0.5 episodes are a ton of fun because there are a chance to get really creative with the series.
The first episode like this was Manny's Day Out, and the premise for that one was Greg is reading a storybook to Manny, so the entire episode is done in the style of an illustrated children's book.
Like with Manny's Day Out, it was kind of our homage and poking fun at like Curious George-esque children's books.
I guess that title is a parody of the movie Baby's Day Out, but we always wanted it to look and feel like Curious George with malicious Manny. Manny is so malicious. After Manny's Day Out was well received by everyone, I think we always hoped we'd do something again in that vein. I don't think we knew exactly what form it would take. Would it be another children's book? Would it be another just Manny adventure? Would it be another story? And I bet we will see another Manny adventure someday. But this time the challenge seemed to take the form of this comic book with Roderick.
Working on the art for so many different kinds of videos is really fun. Obviously, the drawings in Diary of a Wimpy Alien are parodying the simple line drawings from Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
I think the idea was, well, we did a 0.5 episode where Manny got the spotlight and it looked like a kid's book. If we want to give the spotlight to Roderick this time, what would his storybook be like? Well, he wouldn't have a kid's book, he would have a comic book. And of course he would make it himself because he's so proud of himself and thinks he's awesome.
And of course, Into the Predatorverse is definitely poking fun at Into the Spider-Verse, but also the whole idea of crudely drawn comic books.
When Will was giving me a reference for the visual style of this, he actually said, think Teen Girl Squad from Homestar Runner. It was literally hand-drawn, really scribbly drawings, and so it was almost like a storyboard come to life.
And it is always just an absolute pleasure to see what John comes up with for all of these. You kind of put it on the page with a little, assumption of maybe it'll look like this in your head, and then it looks 10 times better when he does it. I think he found just the perfect combination of style of something that looked like simple, something that Roderick could make, but something that was just detailed and hilarious and funny enough that it really worked.
So this video was a really nice change of pace. I didn't have to worry about drawing in multiple programs or coloring or shading. I just opened up Photoshop, I got my tablet and the pen, and I just drew. And what I drew by hand is what ended up in the video. So it was like really fast-paced and fun, and I really enjoyed getting to work on this one.
So with this, it was okay, well, what comic book is popular? I had just seen Into the Spider-Verse. I thought it was excellent, but it gave it a perfect opportunity to kind of go into Roderick's mind and see all these different versions of himself that he would, think are equally awesome or equally cool. And of course, he's the best one, even though he has, no special skills versus the others. Little known fact, Ryan Forrestall is our awesome Predator actor and voice actor as well in all of the main series, but these little Greg Responds we do and the 0.5s, we try to keep them kind of a smaller, more in-house, and I often lend Roderick his voice to the 0.5s and in Greg Responds. I think it all started because I sang the silly song that Roderick sings in Wimpy Alien number 3.
Blood is pumping through your veins tonight.
And so we realized I have a sort of similar lilt to my voice as Ryan, and I've helped out with the different Greg Responds. So it was fun coming up with all the different stupid voices for the different versions of Roderick as well. And always thinking, okay, well, what does Roderick think a girl sounds like? What does Roderick think a wizard sounds like? What does he think a science person sounds like? And of course, that one's the dorkiest sounding of all, because Roderick probably thinks all scientists are nerds.
It's fun to see different rooms in the Zeenli household, and there's actually not one specific location that fills each one of those specific requirements. Like, for instance, the dining room is my parents' house. Greg's room, where he's writing at the desk or taking care of Manny, that's actually my brother's old room. And then there's Will's house, which serves as the living room. But in this case, we needed to see Roderick's room. We've never been inside the Predator's room. We got to dress it all up with all kinds of skulls and chains hanging from the ceiling and stuff. We got kind of carried away, but I love that stuff. I love transforming different locations and bringing that to life.
So Diary of a Wimpy Alien Into the Predatorverse was actually pretty easy for me. It was only about, gosh, like 3-4 hours of filming, which was wonderful, nice and easy, and it was in my apartment, in my yoga room, and my dogs got to be there. So it was a nice, easy day of filming as Greg Zeenle, which is wonderful because I know we're gonna have some pretty epic shoots coming up. We have some pretty big episodes with Greg this summer, so I know those are gonna be much longer days of filming. So it was nice to kind of have a nice, easy start to the new year before we rev up into those longer days of shooting.
I'm really excited that we actually made a printed, you can purchase it, version of the comic book because I want one myself, and I look forward to you know, having that on my bookshelf.
Thank you so much for watching the behind the scenes of Diary of a Wimpy Alien Into the Predatorverse. Now, if you haven't heard, we now have a merch store of Diary of a Wimpy Alien merchandise. This is the only place you can get Greg Zeenle pillows, mugs, and of course, t-shirts, which I think are really awesome. So you can totally check that out in the link below. It's our Teespring store. And also, if you want to get exclusive behind the scenes posts, you can do that on our Patreon, which is patreon.com/andufilms. All of the proceeds from t-shirts, mugs, and on Patreon go right back into the videos for you to love and enjoy. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.